Everybody has their own individual story. You got all kinds of jargon on the streets, slang. For instance, a hoodah on the street is a cop, the police. Here comes the hoodas, hoodah, hoodah, hoodah. You hear it when you're walking down the street and you hear hoodah, hoodah, hoodah. That means the police are close by. Now another thing, a woman, a female, is called a hyena. Sounds like hyena, but it's hyena. That's the slang on the streets. So I was asking this one guy, if you got a female cop, would that be a hoodah hyena or a hyena hoodah? I never could get that straight. My name is Joseph Maisano. I'm 61 years old. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I've got 2 daughters and a son. I've got a grandson, Jesse, 19 years old, and I've got a granddaughter, Maria, 5 years old. My brother lives in Michigan. My brother's an ice cream man. He's got 2 ice cream trucks. In fact, I'll probably drive one of them this summer. Well, my father was Italian. He was born in Sicily. My mother was an American. Dad could be a little abusive at times, but they were just hard-working, low middle-class family. My mother's alive. She's 83. Dad's been gone a long time. My best memory is when my daughter was born, my first child. My worst memory is any time I ever went to jail. It hasn't been that many times, but being in a cage like an animal, I never did. It's a bad feeling. I don't dream. I don't dream. I never dream. I don't know why, but my favorite movie was Easy Rider. Just about a couple guys cruising around on their motorcycles and having fun. And they played a lot of good music in the movie, and it was a nice movie. Yeah, I do. I do like my beard. Oh, I like all kinds of foods. I've always loved Coca-Cola. Probably a year and a half ago. I mean, I wash. Now, my hygiene's obviously not as good as it could be, because you don't have the opportunity to shower, But most of the time, you just have to get a bottle of water and a wash rag and just wash in some corner. One of my few enjoyments in life is marijuana. I enjoy marijuana. I almost always have some. Well, if I'm depressed or got the blues or anything like that, it eliminates that. Gives me a positive attitude. Well, when I came out here from Michigan 10 years ago, the last time, I came on a Greyhound bus. L.A.? I love L.A. Yeah, it's a great place. You got some assholes in L.A., but the majority of the people got good hearts. Angelinos are the best people in the world. I get choked up talking about it. I do, too. I really believe that. Best people in the world, Angelinos. If you can spread a smile or lift a little bit of sunshine on somebody once every day, you've really achieved a hell of a thing. At 61, and being a manual labor, you're not exactly in demand anymore. Old is not chic for the workforce. Living on the streets is a whole new world. A whole different world than living not on the streets. 30 years ago, when you lived like this, it was acceptable. During the left-wing hippie days, just loved drugs and rock and roll. You weren't considered homeless, and there was always some place to crash. But now it's a different story. Nobody has to be on the streets. Nobody. There's always programs or shelters. I just don't like those I don't like institutional type things. I'm more of an individualist. I want my freedom. I know everybody on the streets, and I talk with everybody on the streets, but I don't hang around with anybody. I'm predominantly a loner. I was close with one guy. We camped together for a year, and he disappeared 3 weeks ago. I haven't seen him since. I think he got busted. I just hope he's all right. The only friend I have is Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, I believe there's a supreme being called God. That's a hard one to figure out. Greatest prophet there ever was, greatest man there ever was. That's where I have problems with Christians. They say Jesus Christ was God. That's ridiculous. He was not God. He was a man. He died like a man, suffered like a man, he had fear like a man. He was a man. But the greatest man there ever was, the closest man to God there ever was, that's my feelings. I mean, everybody has their own idea. That's why I can't become part of any organized Christian segment of Christianity. If they don't believe that, they believe he was God. He was no more God than me or you. He was probably the closest man there ever was to God. You're either God or you're a man, one or the other. Best story is 2 times, 2 different occasions, I found a $100 bill. That was the nicest thing to have. Usually every Monday morning I have between $20 and $30 that I turn in, which is a good piece of money. Now for a good breakfast, nickel bag of weed. Sometimes I have sex on Monday morning, you know, if I have enough money. Oh, different ways. Sometimes I hold a sign by the highway. All right, 425 we're up to, almost halfway. I got enough, let's go. Sometimes I recycle. A lot of times, now I don't make this a thing where I do it constantly all the time. I don't live for this. But a lot of times, I'll buy a little $4 piece of cocaine, and then I'll smoke it. After the buzz is gone, which is about 10 minutes is all it lasts, then I'll smoke a little weed, and then I'll go about my business. But I don't chase cocaine all day long, or chase any drug all day long. But a lot of mornings I like to wake up to a little smoke, and that's it. And most of the time I won't even do another one for another 2-3 days or the next morning. But I'm not addicted to it. I'm not addicted to anything. I ain't got nothing. I gotta have something. Damn. Let me just get that old piece of shit you got. I'll buy something in a little bit. I'll get you a new piece.
Yeah, man, it ain't no good. I take it out and it's cold.
All right. Motherfucker. Boy, what a fucking break. What a fucking break. What a break. I found a piece.
What is it?
That's the screen I gotta use. Probably been pissed on a million times. I gotta burn it out. Oh, that was lucky. Your friends are gonna flip out when you say, yeah, I filmed a guy smoking to hit a rock. What? Do some of the kids at school smoke rock? What's the right word? Going through body rushes like when you first do that. It speeds up your metabolism. Sex and cocaine is the ultimate. I used to think marijuana and cocaine was good sexually, and it is, but cocaine is just 10 times better. It does heighten the sexual feelings in a male. In a female, it has the opposite effect. It makes them frigid. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it is. If not handled carefully, this stuff can be very destructive. You know, anything in moderation, I think, is all right. Whether it's drugs, sex, money, anything in moderation, anything you do. But when you abuse anything, then you've got problems. We live in a chemical society. I mean, drugs is a big part of our society. That's the way I believe. Whether it's caffeine, chocolate, cocaine, marijuana, you know, we live in a chemical world. Up here in the corner, Venice and Hoover, a lot of people sell drugs. That corner there is on a borderline of 18th Street Gang and the Harpies, which most of the time they get along pretty good, but there are times they have problems. And all that shooting between the gangs, 90% of it's over drug territory. Any of the people that sell on the street, the majority of them are illegal aliens. They have to pay $60 a week to the gangs to be able to sell on that corner. Once in a while, I'll get lucky and get a little money together. And even though I'm 61 years old, once in a while I like to be with a woman. There's a lot of girls on the street that are called strawberries. In other words, for a couple of nickels of this stuff, you know, you can have whatever you want. And so, sometimes I'll get $20 together and get 4 or 5 of these and get a strawberry, have my little fun, and you know, there's the truth. I want before I left, the guy on the bus, I wanted to get laid before I left. You know, so I was gonna get a few rocks and a female, come back here, take care of that. Well, I use that rubber. Yeah, you have to these days. Yeah. Drugs are directly or indirectly the reason I'm on the streets. But there's a lot of other different factors too. Lazy, tired of life, tired of responsibility. And I don't give a damn attitude. But I'm not a bad person. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a threat to society. To the general public, don't be fearful of homeless people. I remember 15 years ago in Detroit when I had my own business. I went to the video store to rent a video for me and my friend. And when I was there, someone came up to my van. It was nighttime. They looked like I look now. They made me a little apprehensive, and I rolled up my window real fast. But when it happens to you and the tables are switched, Homeless people are just like you. They just had problems with drugs or alcohol or money, and they end up on the streets. I'm going back to Detroit probably Tuesday for the summer. Spend with my family. I haven't been back in 8 years, eight or 9 years, so I'm looking forward to it. In fact, I have to make a phone call tonight. She's not there. She's got to be at my sister's house. I should have figured that. Yeah, damn, here goes another one. Oh, the line's busy. Motherfucker. Living on the streets, it gets old, and the older you get, the harder it gets. These are my last few days on the streets, hopefully. But when I come back this time, I'll have a little money. I'll get an apartment and try and find a little job. No happier or no less happier than probably the average person. I have my moments of depression, but everybody does, as far as that goes. Just that he was all right. The guy was all right. He had a good heart. Never bothered anybody. Respected everybody. That's my motto. My father didn't teach me a whole lot in life, but he did teach me the word respect. I always give respect to everybody. Don't always get it back, but I always give it. Life is all right. It has its good moments, it's bad, but generally, I'm in no hurry to check out. Life is all right. Seems to me that when you pick a booger in your nose, one remanufactures almost immediately. You never run out of boogers in your nose for some reason. There's always a booger in there. You clean your nose real good, perfectly, every nostril. 10 minutes later, there's a booger there. I mean, where do they come from? Booger land, I guess, huh? And what exactly is a booger? I mean, that's what they call the little things in your nose, boogers. What does a booger consist of? Is it what you eat? When you eat, do you manufacture boogers? I don't know. How can we find the answer to those questions? Go to USC, I guess, huh?